A very good morning, team, and welcome back to another daily market outlook where we discuss all the major dollar pairs and, of course, gold. My name is Fabio, and we're going to be diving into the Euro USD first of all today. Don't mind my voice, I'm a little bit sick today, but yeah, hope to get better soon. By the way, this afternoon there's going to be a New York live stream here on YouTube as well. So, first of all, key announcement of the day, guys: tariffs, inflation, government shutdowns. All of these things hang over the United States economy as Trump dodges recession questions. Trump is being asked about a potential recession that is going on in the United States as stocks are down, crypto is down, and tariffs are being thrown all over the place. It's causing a lot of uncertainty for the United States economy, and it is therefore causing the dollar to be very, very weak as of recent, right? Okay, so Trump is doing all of this just because he wants to pressure Powell into lowering those interest rates, which is in his best interest because they need to refinance $6 trillion worth of United States debt. And currently those interest rates are way too high at around 4%. So these are things that you need to understand as a Forex trader, and it's causing EURUSD to continuously push up higher and higher. Now, obviously, EURUSD from a technical perspective is indeed currently inside of an area of daily supply. So inside of this daily supply zone, after a very heavy overextended move in towards the upside, it would be logical to think and assume that we're now ready for a potential pullback in towards the lows. So what we saw and what we mentioned yesterday is, again, guys, we don't just randomly start selling off of an area of supply or based on a bearish candlestick like this. No, we wait for the lower time frame confirmation, because as good as the daily time frame looks over here, with us taking out liquidity, with us pushing into supply, and then with these upside rejection wicks, it doesn't mean that the market is going to push down lower. This could just be like a phase of consolidation, a phase of slowdown before another push up higher in towards the moon, right, which we've been discussing as of recent. Now, looking at the weekly time frame, obviously we're inside a weekly imbalance, but we also have a weekly supply zone up over here as well. So at the moment, I'm just waiting, to be honest, until the lower time frame gives me the confirmation. I'm personally not interested in getting into any buy positions from these levels. What I am looking for is that potential reversal. Now, this is pretty much exactly as we've been discussing all week long. After the overextended move in towards the highs, what do we get? We get the ascending correction, guys. And an ascending correction is often a sign that we're ready to start selling off. What we see here is that we break structure. Then again, here we break structure. And then what we're likely going to see straight away, retracement again. Does it need to happen? Obviously not, because we could just rocket up higher again. But if we do see another retracement in towards the downside, for example, a bearish candlestick on the 4-hour time frame after this into the New York session, that to me would again signal that these breaks of structure are so weak and minor that we're just going to see another push or retracement very soon, possibly, right? Because when you see a break of structure, you want to see something like this, where you break the market structure, but the market keeps on moving down impulsively, okay? So that's very important for price to do if you want it to remain bullish. But yeah, for myself, obviously after the overextended move, the ascending correction, I'm now looking for that potential downside, in addition to the fact that we're inside daily supply. Now, here on the 4-hour time frame, you have a 4-hour supply zone. Right, so if we zoom in over here, you can very clearly see this is your buy up for the strong sell down. So you would consider that an area of supply. Now, we can see that the initial reaction comes into that, or from that area of supply here, with the bearish candlesticks. So this is again where a lot of people start going short. But remember what I mentioned in yesterday's video, we are still inside an area of demand. So there's no confirmation yet to go short, because we respected all of the lows, right? And that's now currently what is happening. For now, this is pretty much your sell down before the buy up that is in control. And as long as that demand holds, the market will just continuously push up higher and higher, because who says that the market needs to retrace, right? That's just our logical mind thinking that, okay, price will not go up forever, which is completely true. But our mind thinks that, okay, we hit a supply zone, we've had a very large overextended move, now we're just ready to sell off. So keep an eye out for the 4-hour fractal structure, which is pretty much over here. And if we break that, yes, then I'll be looking for a correction. Otherwise, just keep in mind we could just continuously push up higher and higher. So also, if you're trading the lower time frame, because I know a lot of you are looking at the lower time frame, then longs are the only option to trade, because I'm not going to be trading any shorts from here unless we see a bigger push up higher, because now you're getting obviously a 50-minute break of structure over here. What do you expect after a 50-minute BOS? You expect a pullback to happen. A lot of equal lows here underneath this trend line. So now what you would want to see is maybe like on the 15-minute, some ascending corrective price action, and then the change of character to then take a potential short to take out those lows, right? So that's another option for a short position, but I'm mainly focusing on the higher time frame. So if you focus on the higher time frame, do what I just first mentioned. If you're focusing on the lower time frame, do what I just mentioned there. Going into the dollar index, because again, guys, a lot of us are looking for that correction on EURUSD, but what you need to understand is that if you go into the weekly time frame on the dollar index, this happened before in the past where, and I removed everything here on the dollar chart, but in the past we kind of had this as well, where we had a very strong bearish candlestick, and this bearish candlestick over here accounted for around a drop of 4.42%, and again over here on this candlestick we've had a drop of around not even 4%. So again, if you look at the past, right, what happened on that candlestick over here, you can see that the market hardly even retraced. Everybody was waiting at the time for this area of supply to get hit, right, after the change of character here on the weekly time frame. So we broke market structure. This then becomes your supply zone. Everybody's waiting for that supply zone to get hit, and then the short position. But again, here as well, like obviously this is going to be the best short from the buy before the sell on the weekly, but it doesn't need to happen, right? Because remember what I mentioned on the higher time frame analysis here on the weekly, I'm expecting a lot of further downside still for the dollar in towards around 100. Here we had consolidation before Trump became president. We had the fake out on the highs and then the downtrend. Here again, we had the consolidation before Trump became president, fake out on the highs, and now we're looking for that downtrend continuation. So looking for the short positions, keeping in mind though that we do not need to retrace all the way up here, especially if those news, or if the news comes out that United States is indeed nearing that recession, that could cause a lot more weakness from the United States dollar. For now, obviously, my end target is 99.578 for the US dollar. But until then, yeah, the very first next target is just here, 103.373. And then maybe a retracement after that could happen. But if we do not get that, then yeah, keep an eye out. If we get like a strong candle close, we could just push down lower in towards this sell before the buy over here, and then eventually also this liquidity low over here as well. So yeah, I think the overall outlook for the dollar is very, very clear, looking for that further downside. And then we just need to keep an eye on the lower time frame if we're even going to get that retracement or not. Going into Aussie dollar, we saw a sell-off yesterday in towards the downside, which is perfectly fine. This is the initial reaction again to this area of supply on the daily time frame that we have over here. For now, this is causing the market to push down lower, obviously. So now what you want to see here, because remember, I'm looking at the weekly time frame still for Aussie dollar to push it up higher based on what the weekly fractal is doing over here. So again, if you do not know what the weekly fractal is, it's just very simply said the market structure of the individual candlesticks. So if we look here at the weekly time frame, you can very clearly see that we get a fake out on the lows. Then as soon as we swipe the lows, what do we get? We get a V-shaped reversal up, breaking the internal market structure. Therefore, this is now the low, this is now the high. We retrace back down in towards 618, and from there I'm looking just for the upside continuation to happen. But we need the lower time frame to kind of like play along as well, because now we're reacting to daily supply, and this could still push the market down lower once again. Do not fade it. So keep an eye on the lower time frame being the 4-hour. And for now, in the 4-hour time frame, I'm looking at this supply zone. So we now have kind of like a supply chain that is in control. Again, I can say that I want to see longs, but then I need the lower time frame still to kind of align with my thought process. So what I'm now looking at is for this supply zone to be respected. Then we'll push the market down lower. If we break it, then I'll look for long positions on the then created demand zone. And then on the 1-hour time frame, I'll look for the change of character to then go long. Okay, so that's my kind of like game plan for Aussie dollar that I have at the moment. Going into GBPUSD, I'm looking for something very similar to EU. Obviously, I would love to see a pullback. We're inside that daily supply zone or that daily consolidation area, very, very clear. We took out kind of like this liquidity high, which was positioned right below this supply zone. And now you're looking like everybody else for potential short position. So again, a lot of us are very, very, very kind of like, we want to get into a position, but guys, like market is consolidating at the moment. So yeah, you could get into a position. But for now, we need to wait for a trend to form in either direction before getting into any positions. So yeah, GBPUSD is consolidating. So I don't really know what you guys want to trade or want to do with this. Myself, at least nothing. 50-minute is a little bit unclear. Yes, 50-minute broke structure here in towards the downside. So that could mean that after kind of like gaining this high over here and tapping into this 50-minute supply zone, we could start seeing a sell-off. So I might look for kind of like a short-term sell from the above or from the top of the range as we're kind of like consolidating over here. I like to use the range trading tool, which I mark out the 75 and the 25% level, and I trade off of those. So what you're going to see here is that GU is near that 75% level. So if we get like a 50-minute change in the market structure, get some downside pressure, I'll look for some potential shorts on there. So keeping an eye on that, because obviously, yeah, we're inside an area of daily supply, we're inside weekly supply, We're looking for that correction, but just don't get caught up in the mess, because I've seen many times before that the market just rallies and then it just consolidates and it will just rally again. Okay, so just because there's been an overextended move, don't assume that there's going to be a pullback. Just keep in mind that this could also just be the pullback, because again, many traders, they draw in their fib and then they say, aha, we need the 618 fib retracement. This is not necessarily needed for the market to continue rallying. Many times before, can you kind of see here, like you have the overextended push down and then you have like a descending corrective correction, and it just continuously dumps, right? So keep that in mind here as well. It doesn't need to correct. Obviously I would favor a correction because it will give us better opportunities for longs, but for now, just keep an eye on what it does over here. And yeah, if you want to trade the lower time frame, do that. For myself, for shorts, it definitely would need to break this low again, and then I'll get in on a potential short position on the lower time frame. Going into NZDUSD, we can see that NZDUSD is still kind of similar to AU. I'm looking for something similar on NZDUSD, still looking at trading the higher time frame longs. Weekly time frame, very simple. Again, we're at a weekly supply demand zone, and the weekly fractal structure is still bullish. I'm looking at the daily time frame for a potential further upside push. We're now reacting to this buy before the sell here as an area of supply. Myself, I'm still interested in looking for long positions, so I'm going to go into the 4-hour time frame. And then I understand that at the moment, 4-hour supply is in control. So previously we reacted to this over here, and now we're pretty much reacting to this over here. So for now, supply chain is in control, right? Buy before the sell, buy before the sell. So we need to break that buy before the sell, and then we'll take out these highs, and I'll look for some more long positions on the lower time frame to trade it up higher into weekly supply. Okay, so that's kind of like the game plan for myself for now. I'm not really looking at shorts. Like, shorts can play out, but for myself, the weekly time frame is just too strong to push it up higher, or looking too good to push up higher, as we're at weekly support, and we also have a weekly bullish fractal structure. So that's why myself, I'm looking at those long positions only. But again, you can make money on both sides. Do not forget that. On the lower time frame, especially if you've been looking at the 15-minute here, I mean, it's very obvious that there was money to be made here, for example, from this supply zone, where you get that kind of like downtrend over here in towards the lows, right? So I'm not saying that, longs are the only thing that you can make money on, but that's personally just what fits in my strategy, and that's why I'm waiting now for the 4-hour high to go, and then I'll get into some potential long positions. And last of all, we have gold. So gold itself is now just kind of moving back into the range, faked out on the low of the range again. And this is just continuously what we're seeing, especially if you look at the 1-hour time frame. It becomes so clear that every single time that we swipe below, so here swipe below, we reverse, here we swipe below, here we reverse, here we swipe a high, we reverse, here we swipe a high, we reverse. So I'm just calling this a minefield for now, that I'm personally wanting to stay out of. I know a lot of people are looking for shorts from this area of supply. Again, for me, it's in an area of consolidation, so I'm still staying out of gold. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day. We're going to discuss everything as well on the New York Live this afternoon, so see you there and have an amazing day. Thanks, guys.